number episode is this at this point?
We can't be stopped now. It's SFU for life.
What's up? Damn, Puff Daddy wrote that song for us
Yeah.
like a decade or more, probably more. I don't know. I can never remember those types of
Doesn't
things.
matter. It happened, and
Anyways, it's super cool. So today, I know I didn't even really talk to you about what I wanted to talk about today. It's kind of the same type of situation as usual. Is that we kind of just go and
with the
eventually
flow.
yeah, the flizzo.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll get to a topic, and we're sitting reverse right now, so it looks weird.
Well, I was gonna say you didn't even have to say that. You could switch
me.
the image, can't you?
I can mirror the image, but then I feel like
that.
we're disingenuous when we do that.
That's so true.
I'm like, I'm lying to everybody now. Like, oh, I'm on the right. You know what I mean? But now I'm on the left. Okay?
Whatever.
Let's be completely transparent. Okay? Let's be completely
Forget
transparent.
about it.
Forget about it. That's all you can do. But I wanted to touch a little bit on consequences. And I had a funny thought about the word consequences earlier. It's weird how in the English language, because that's the only one that I really know, bad, like things that have a negative connotation, the word that goes along with it kind of sounds bad. Like nefarious. Nefarious, you can kind of just guess when someone
Like
says
a nefarious deed.
yeah. If you didn't know what the word meant and someone said, well, he's kind of a nefarious character, you go,
Sounds bad.
oh, that probably means like mischievous or trying to do something kind of evil, maybe.
Yeah.
And you'd be right, because that's what, and then like eviscerate. You're like, that's probably not good. Like, oh, he was eviscerated. You're like, oh, shit. He was eviscerated. So
Put it in a sentence.
so he makes
go.
more money? I just said, and I just did a
Perfect.
sentence. He was eviscerated.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so the words that have a negative connotation, the sound of the word when it hits your ear, you're like, oh, this has got to be bad. Like, at least
Yeah.
I think most people have that, where they hear a word, especially when you hear it in a sentence and you can kind of take away from it what you want. You're like, oh, okay, I know what this kind of means. I have an idea. But I was like, would people do more bad things if the word because I know consequence usually refers to a bad thing, like
Yeah.
this is a bad thing that'll happen if you do this thing. That's not really what it means. Why are these up here?
I told you I was gonna go CD.
Oh. CD diving?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go diving for CDs.
Deep sea diving.
But consequence is the outcome, good or bad, of doing a thing. But nobody's like, oh, those are the good consequences. Those are the
Yeah, I was gonna
consequences.
say, it's usually bad.
It's suffer the consequences.
Right.
But consequences could be good. Like, I dated this girl for 2 months and she blew me. That was the consequence
Yeah.
of dating this girl. So I was like, if you change the way that you said the word consequence to consequences,
Consequences.
yeah,
Huh.
you deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it does.
I think I could do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Consequences.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, that was like literally the only thought I had, and I was like, we'll talk about consequences.
Consequences.
We'll talk about consequences and consequences on today's episode. So let's start with consequences, the
Yes.
original form, which to
one
use
that
the
I'm
word
familiar
again,
with?
yeah, the more nefarious side of consequences,
Exactly.
consequences, cousin consequence.
Quincy.
So, obviously, everybody knows the two biggest consequences of using drugs and being in that world in general would be jail, incarceration of any sort,
Or death.
or death.
Yeah. Death.
That's it. Those are the two major consequences that everybody knows.
Right.
But there are also
Plenty others.
many little,
Yeah.
some not so little consequences.
Little ones that could be very serious, because I've
Yeah.
dealt with those before.
Yeah, you have one of the bigger
Oh,
ones
okay,
that
since we're talking about that.
you have one of the more aggressive forms of the consequences that come along with, especially intravenous use of different types of
Well,
drugs.
I guess to be fair, what I was talking about had to do with the same thing, but
Yeah, but
Sure.
then there's other things like the like even say you're using Molly a lot, or you're using ecstasy a lot. Remember back in the day when they would show those brain scans of people that did a lot of ecstasy or a lot of Molly, and they show the damage that it did to somebody's brain. It like literally deteriorated material in their brain. But I believe what that actually had to do with was just severe dehydration. Because Molly dehydrates the shit out of you. Like, it's a very well-known thing. I've never been to a rave, but I've known people who used to go to raves all the time. And they were like, you just have to bring a shitload of water.
Or pay $8.
Yeah, or pay $8 for a refilled with tap water Arrowhead bottle. Yeah, a 12-ounce bottle. Yeah, and you have to savor every last sip that you get because you feel like you're gonna fucking die. So I don't even know if that would even count. But the one that I know is because of the way that like methamphetamine, which is the basis of Molly.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely negative consequences when you do a lot of Molly. Like,
oh yeah, there's no good consequence from doing a lot of Molly besides the euphoria of being on Molly, but with Molly's after effects.
The Molly's the same thing, like the two consequences, right? Like, I remember hearing before I did it, like, oh, dude, you could die from one pill, or people have died from one pill, right? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever.
Cool, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, shit. And I took it, and I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, my God, I might die right now. And then I feel it, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. There's like because that's why I got into researching the shit out of any pill that I was handed. Especially I would research it heavily, like what are the interactions, what are these people like, look at reviews of other drug addicts on like message boards that are like, what happened when you took 4 Darvocet and 2 Perk 10s, like how did that go?
I like how there's actually
like
that
blue light
thing on the internet now. Like, you could even ask like, oh, what would happen if I took 5 grams of mushrooms or something? What's the experience?
100%. And there's literally 1,000.
There's videos.
But I remember back in the day it was blue light. Blue light was like where you would go if you wanted to know like when I first did mescaline, I learned how to make and extract mescaline and what to expect and how to do it and all that shit.
For me, thanks YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube, you could do the same shit. But the effect of Molly, and because its basis in methamphetamine was the way that meth works is basically creating this big pocket of dopamine, which is like the happiness chemical, and then blasting it through your receptors like a shotgun. So it's spending more dopamine than your body actually has.
I wonder how that works with Molly, like, because you're taking it and it has methamphetamines in it.
Exactly.
But like, I wonder how that works, because like when you do meth, like the dopamine release is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you take the E, I wonder what the difference between the meth itself and the MDMA.
Well, meth is in MDMA.
Right.
MDMA, the last part of it is MA, which is methamphetamines. It's
same thing is what I'm saying. Like, would it be the same results?
Yeah. Right. I don't even know what the MD part would do without the amphetamine part. Like, I know but it's the same thing happens to your brain with either if you just do meth by itself or if you do MDMA.
Molly, like ecstasy, trips me out because it comes from what? Say it comes from like sassafras or something like that. They get some of the components from it from a root. Which is trippy.
Same with like DMT. And
it's just that's just trippy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean most hallucinogenics come from any of those things, like the poison dart frog, bursitis root, sassafras root. You can get it from a lot of different things. But the problem with spending more dopamine than you have in your brain is the aggressive depression that follows the next day.
That was one of the things I was going to say about ecstasy. Same thing. You take ecstasy all weekend, the next day you're going to be like depleted.
And everybody for the most part knew about that one major consequence. Just make sure the next day you're just not doing shit. You're going to sit at home and be like violently depressed.
I kind of seen a homie, like he was taking E for days on end, right? Just partying. And like when people get tweaked out and they're doing like the gargoyle stance, and you can just tell they're a little off.
Yeah.
That's what this dude was doing, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he all right? He's like, yeah, he took a lot of pills.
Yeah, see,
I was
that's
like, whoa.
that's the stuff that made me not want to do ecstasy specifically, because I saw people doing the eye roll and the like clenching their jaw and like grinding their teeth,
All the
and
fun stuff.
they didn't look like they were having a good time at all.
They probably felt amazing, but they didn't realize how stupid they look.
Yeah,
is the thing.
But that's like your face tells a story to other people.
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling upset, someone can go, "Hey, you feeling all right? You look upset."
Got an extra wrinkle right here and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
there's just something about like the way
Right,
your
right. Carry
eyebrows,
yourself.
just everything, the
Yeah.
the tenseness of your face. Like when you do heroin, your face gets really relaxed. So that's a sign. Like a lot of people don't know to look for that when you're picking out a heroin addict out of a crowd. I can spot them almost instantaneously when they
Yeah.
walk by and they have slack jaw face
Just-
and their
oh,
eyes are half
I was
closed.
just gonna say something that I do every day. I slouch.
Slouching, a lot of people just have bad posture.
Yeah.
It's really about the long term, like when they're standing there and they're
They have the impeccable balance and everything.
yeah, they do
Yeah,
have that.
I always said that.
And it's like an autopilot thing, though. They don't even. It's like they
Don't
have
even know
a.
they're doing it
It's
half
like
the
there's a
time.
gyroscope in their hips that keeps them standing when they're folded over with
Like-
their hands dragging on the ground like a gorilla.
I laugh about it because like it's just insane because I've seen that and I've done it. You're like standing, not even standing against the wall, and you're like,
Oh yeah,
an inch from falling, and you're like, nope.
I've been
nope.
standing at the toilet like. Because when you do heroin, obviously you can't piss to save your life, which is the most frustrating thing when you forget to take a piss before you like shoot up or smoke
Yeah, but
heroin.
sometimes I don't have to pee before,
Yeah, and then it immediately comes on.
and then you're high,
and then you're like,
I need some soda.
like just the amount of frustration that I would get like for that and even trying to shit.
Dude, I would
is
get
so
naked
bad.
for both situations
Yeah,
just
of
because
course.
I'm like,
I'm gonna sweat.
I need to fucking pee and,
Yeah.
or shit.
And you're just like, did I forget how to pee?
Yeah.
What's going on?
You get like this, bro. It's either lean over,
Yeah. I would like sit down and then hug my thighs, like fold my body in half to like put pressure on my bladder to try to push, even if you can get a little bit out. Like a dude with a prostate the size of a grapefruit, you're just turning purple, veins are popping out all over.
I fucking hate that.
It was
shit
like when
so much,
when
bro.
SpongeBob had the fake arms on
Oh,
and he was
yeah.
trying to lift the anchor and they blew up and then popped.
Yeah.
That's your fucking neck when you're trying to piss when you've smoked heroin or done heroin in any kind of way. So that's another pretty sweet consequence.
Pretty great.
Another one that I got to experience is the lack of the existence of testosterone in my body.
Never got checked, so, I
So
don't know.
yeah, of course you won't go get your fucking blood drawn to get your Hep C, your tall glass of Hep C taken care of either.
This time I wanted a Coke, so it was
Well,
kind of
you
bullshit.
should just do it. God
Drink
damn
what you're
it!
poured.
I got a fucking order for a blood test after you, and I went way before.
went-
You still haven't gone.
I went
months
3
ago,
times.
and they
3
just
different-
didn't do it.
They did it each time, and every time they called me, "Hey, you're gonna have to come back and do it again." They
And
did
you just
it
haven't
in the
done it.
wrong tube, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Just go back and be like, "Is this the right tube?" Triple check, because I'm not doing this
Quadruple.
shit again.
Nah, dude, they were getting Old Faithful and shit multiple
Well,
times.
Go back and just make sure.
Yeah.
Because that, so when I got, basically what was going on was I had no energy, no sex drive, and I just couldn't put on weight. Was actually one of the first signs. I was just like, I'm eating so much food. I'm taking in so much protein. I'm working out constantly. I can't seem to put on even fat, let alone muscle. So I go to the doctor who gives me my injections at the Arizona Recovery Center. What's up? And she sends me to get blood work done. It comes back. Now they use a scale that's between 9 and 20 is average. That's where they want you at. I was at a 1.2.
Damn, boy.
So she was like, I don't know how you get out of bed in the morning. It's insane. Like, most women had more testosterone in their bodies than I did.
Is it true? This is a super random question,
Is it
but it has to
true?
do something with that. Like,
Okay.
because I always got told, like, if you do legs a lot,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? That it's supposed to release some sort of like. It's supposed to. I don't. That's just what I've heard. It's probably just prison nonsense, but I've heard that if you do a lot of
I
legs,
think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like supposed to help. I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly it really releases some kind of endorphins or something like that to help you build more muscle mass.
Right. Okay, so different, but
I've-
same, but different.
I've heard that's why they say do not skip leg day, but it's also because you're supposed to keep your body balanced. But I think they might have just come up with that to make people do leg day because they would literally just never
bastards.
do it. They're just, I'm just going to do curls and bench presses, dude.
I've forced
Fuck my
myself to do
legs.
legs
It sucks.
lately.
But like doing the type of work that we're doing, like even with the shit I'm doing, you have to do a lot of climbing all the time, carrying super heavy shit and like getting in and out of scissor lifts,
Gotta be
climbing
bent the
ladders.
fuck over
Yeah, so
most of the time. All
you're-
the time.
yeah, you're doing a lot of lower body workout and upper body workout.
My back doesn't hurt anymore. I've been working it out, bruh.
Yeah, see, that'll
That's all
help.
I needed to do.
Yeah, I mean,
It still sucks, but it's not like as bad as it was before, where I'll be like, ooh,
Yeah.
no.
that's one of the things that isn't even a consequence of drug use. That's just age. Is that everybody starts getting decrepit?
I'm
like,
only 27, man.
I know. Most people start getting decrepit like around 30. They start to feel the old guy pain. I can't speak for women on this issue. I don't know when the pain starts.
Am I feeling this old guy pain?
I think so.
Oh, no.
Because mine started like 30, 31. And it was pretty aggressive. And it gets to a point where now it's like if you move your arm in a certain way and then turn your head a certain way, it's just that's where you are now.
Yeah.
That's
or
just
like,
where it will stay.
Or what about like when you're sitting or like watching something and you know like how, remember like people imagine their dads on like recliner and they're reading the newspaper, watching the news, and they're like,
Oh, just falling
"Okay,
asleep.
night." Yeah, I was
Oh,
watching.
I do that.
I watch my phone. I'm like, I'm not even tired. Just worked out, got energy. Watching my phone, still sitting up. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna check out for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That was a recent development as well, but it's difficult because I have a 2-year-old running around who
Yeah.
doesn't allow that.
Yeah, my kids don't let me either,
Yeah.
even though they hate me,
Yeah.
bastards.
That's just how kids are. Kids kids love to test and push buttons. And it's like, that's the part, like, you have to have it programmed in your DNA to love your kids because you would fucking kill them. Like, if you didn't have that inherited need to protect those fucking assholes,
Yeah, I'm gonna kill
you
for
would
those
you
little
would throttle
fuckers,
them.
but
Yeah. Like,
kill for them.
when my kid when he does some just ridiculous shit, and when I'm like, what are you doing? Don't do that, or stop, and then he goes
Yeah,
like slowly goes forward to touch the thing, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I
Like,
have that mentality.
like I could pick you up with one hand literally and throw you across my entire house.
I won that fight earlier, by the way.
Yeah. I think he got in a lot of strikes.
He
like, if
did.
it was going to go to a judge,
And I hit myself on that. It wasn't him.
that's true.
Just
but I
saying.
mean, that he might get like
By
a
unanimous decision?
rebound on that.
Oh,
You know what I
damn.
mean? Like an assist.
He did punch me in the dick.
He did do that. I
Yeah.
saw that. And I think that's just part of, being
The ultimate fighter.
2'8",
Oh.
and yeah. I think he's the height right now that Vern Troyer was. Mini-me?
Yeah.
I remember looking that up at one point, and I
Is
was
he
like,
alive?
oh shit, no, he died.
What?
Yeah, he died, what was it? A year or two ago. It wasn't very
man.
long ago.
Oh man.
Yeah, but he for sure died. So real quick, I just want to touch on something that this is a bad choice of words.
Touch it, baby.
I just want to go over something that we talked about last week. There hasn't really been a lot of developments, but I want to talk about a specific part of this situation that I don't have any clarification on this. It's about the David Dobrik situation.
Yeah.
So David Dobrik just has the channel, and he kind of facilitated this dirty Dom character to have a fivesome, but it turns out that it was a bunch of girls, some of which were not over the age of 21.
Oh.
So you didn't know that part?
No.
And they were getting
I remember
swifty.
Jeff was talking about...
My name is Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff was talking
Jeff
about they were
Wittick.
like 18, but they were really like 16 and something like that.
In this situation, they were 20 and 21.
Oh, so it was a different situation.
Yeah, it was a different situation. That was a couple years, I think 2 years prior, Dirty Dom.
But yeah, on this show, because I used to watch it, this vlogs, and like, yeah, Dirty Dom was kind of put out there as like a...
Dirtbag.
Sex dude, I guess?
Yeah.
Dude who's fucking
They read his consent form. He had a consent form that girls had to sign, and it was like, you have to initial here for oral copulation, for mutual oral copulation, for anal penetration, oral penetration. They had to like sign all these things, and then it said, this area is left blank for further sex acts that we may decide, like crazy shit. Like, and there was a section in there that it's like, are you, like, you're no bullshit. You're 18, right? Like, under perjury of law.
Yup.
It's towards the top. It says under the law of perjury, or, you'll be guilty of perjury. Like, what the fuck? There's no notary. There's no lawyer. How is she going to commit perjury? Just because she said yes to your dumb fucking
what if they were
legit
like,
contract?
What if they're like, I'm 20, but I don't have my ID on me?
Yeah, but these girls, at that point it was girls that were younger. But these girls, 20 and 21 years old, and then Jeff was saying, and Trisha also said that Todd and Jeff went to go get booze, but Todd may have just got booze for himself. Either way, the girls ended up swifty. Mm-hmm. Okay? They got hella swifty.
Yes, sir.
And this girl that they call Hannah, she got just blackout drunk. Uh-huh. And supposedly when she got into the room with Dom, she was trying to get out, and he was like, you have to kiss me first, doing legit douchebag frat boy, fucking not even frat boy, high school, middle school shit, like, if I roll a 4 on these dice, you have to kiss me. Like, the dumbest shit. The weakest fucking shit you ever had to do. Straight up assaulty shit. So I guess she's like, okay, I'm blackout drunk, so I guess I'll kiss you. And then he kind of forced himself on her, and at a certain point he recognized that she wasn't awake or conscious for part of this penetration. Like, and there's video and audio evidence of like Dom talking about it, David talking about looking into the room and seeing Dom fucking this girl and she was unconscious. All of them talked about it within like a month or two of this happening. David did a podcast with that douchebag Jason. Yeah. And they talked about the entire situation like, oh, it was so funny that she was so drunk when he fucked her. Like, how are you bragging about the fact that you had to get these girls so drunk to fuck you? That's not a point of pride. That shouldn't be a point of pride. That should be like, I need to take a closer look at myself on why girls find me so repulsive that they need to be on the verge of fucking alcohol poisoning
they all
to touch my pecker.
They also want to fuck them or whomever because
they wanted to fuck David.
Exactly.
But also turns out David is a cuckold.
Oh.
He said in one point somebody else was on his podcast and they were like,
get spicy.
Would you let another guy fuck your girl? And they were like, yeah, I think that'd be kind of hot.
First of all, no.
And then David said, I would rather watch my girl get fucked than actually fuck her. And I was like, excuse me? Baking soda? What was that? And then he was like, but what if he had like a fat dick? Oh. And he's like, even better.
If he's got a fat cock, why not?
If she's gonna be getting fucked by somebody else, at least make her enjoy it. So I'm like, what the fuck? So David might be asexual though. That does exist.
I was getting like that because of myself. Because I'm like, I would never do that.
I couldn't.
I would fucking be.
I'd be, yeah.
choking two somebodies to death, that they
Yeah.
would even think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
If she was like, come on, it's fun. Like, oh, for real?
yeah,
Do it.
I'd be out. I'd be, where's your mom?
Obviously,
I'm fucking your mom. This is the only way I can get back. Like, yeah.
Where's your mom? Yeah.
I've never been put into the situation where someone had even asked me that, but no.
Fighting, bro.
Like, I know if I asked any girl that I've ever dated, if I was like, hey, would you want to watch me bang some other girl? They would throw knives at me.
That's an
They
ultimate
would stab
test.
my face.
Ultimate test for a girl right there. Hey, would you like get fucked in front of me? Like, I'm kind of down. And if they're like, yeah, I'll do that. You're like, you fucking whore.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, because I did ask one of my ex-girlfriends, like, would you ever get DP'd? And she was like, yeah, I'd probably try it. And I was like, oh,
No.
gasp. Yeah, it hurt me. And I'm like, I mean, girls can do whatever they want to do. Yeah, have at it. If you want to get DP'd, great. But while in a relationship with me, I feel violated.
If this is a thing here,
yeah,
it ain't going down.
Because I know the people like, yeah, she's not your property and all this shit.
No.
Yeah, it's not about my property, but Jesus Christ, if you're in a relationship where you love each other and you're supposed to be monogamous, this wasn't an agreement in the beginning. Yeah, it'll be polyamorous or it's open.
If she says I'm your girlfriend and I'm loyal to you and I do everything.
And I'm also going to take two cocks at the same time.
If that even comes about, like,
it would
be a deal
it'd
breaker,
be over.
bro.
It'd be over. There's no fucking way. I would for sure lose my fucking mind. But supposedly, that's what Double D likes, dude.
That's his name.
Old Davy D.
Double dick.
Double Dobes. Anyways, so yeah, the whole situation has like crazy receipts and all this information backed up. So it's like really, really hard for anybody to be like, no, I think they're lying. Because how? If they were lying, they did a lot of fucking work.
They did a lot of lying.
Yeah, they did a lot of lying, and they did a lot of good video editing. And they convinced David, Dom, and Jason, and Jeff, and Todd, and Trisha. They convinced them very well of some shit going down. So, but my main question in all of this, which once we cut, we'll get back to my main question in all of this. Well, at least the answer to my main question. Or the discussion about the main question.
Suspense, bro.
For literally enough time for it to go skadoosh.
Oh, damn it.
So I'll say what the thing is about it. That I was wondering, what level of responsibility should David Dobrik take over this entire situation? How responsible should he be held? And should he be held to a higher standard because he's got 80 billion subscribers on YouTube, most of which are most likely younger women and teens and shit like that.
I definitely got an answer for that.
All right. Well, we're gonna slam it, and we'll get right back on to it. And we're back. Okay, so he left on a pretty severe cliffhanger here, dude. For the first time ever, how much responsibility should be placed on the shoulders of David Giuseppe Dobrik?
Okay, well, first off, like, yeah, he should be held accountable for some of the things that went down because he was running a channel, YouTube channel, where a community of people are watching, billions, millions, whatever, like you said.
And he released the video.
To that point, yeah, but with the Dirty Dom stuff, that's on him, bro.
100%.
That's on Dom if that really happened. But like with David, it's kind of weird. I don't even know how to say it because he was talking about it like, oh yeah, this happened.
He made jokes about it.
At that point, you're just making yourself look more guilty. It's like going to jail and talking next to the speaker box and saying, dude, I really killed that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
you should have seen how much blood came out of that guy
when I murdered him.
Yeah, when I stabbed him right in his neck, it was fucking crazy. I hid the murder weapon here at this address.
Right. It's like that, but
yeah. He definitely doesn't seem not guilty. So
No.
the responsibility on him was he facilitated this whole thing to happen he was the leader of this group of people that came to him for clout. So Dirty Dom came in for clout. All these other people came in like, hey, we want, millions of followers too.
That's all it was.
So this house is he's head of household basically. And it was his responsibility to release this video, to edit this video and release it. So for the public to see it is also on him.
Yeah.
And he made jokes about it, like lighthearted, like didn't understand that there was something very wrong going on inside that room. Something that is life-altering for at least a couple of those girls, if not just Hannah.
If that really happened, bro, with Dom or whomever.
Yeah, it was
obviously,
definitely Dom.
Obviously, with that, in that situation, dude, fuck you. You're fucked. Guilty, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
And then he came out with this apology, and people are like, they're buying the apology hook, line, and stinker, dude.
Dude, I don't give a shit about David Dobrik, but like, he's guilty, but he's like, I'm not gonna say not guilty, but he's
definitely guilty to a lesser extent than Dom is.
That's what
they're
I'm saying.
putting a lot of focus on David.
Yeah.
When Dom did the worst of it, because David wasn't in the room to see the girl unconscious, because a girl can't say no if she's blackout drunk, but that doesn't mean anything. And there was that college kid a couple years ago that a girl was blacked out, passed out behind a dumpster.
Yeah.
And he, he did what he did to her unconscious body.
Right.
He got away on probation.
Mm-hmm. Like,
they were like, well,
does.
We don't want to like ruin he can get a scholarship with football. Fuck him, dude.
I know
Let him rot in fucking prison until he dies.
I know someone specifically, bro, and they just gave him 10 years probation, and he's allowed at the freaking church he goes to, like nothing happened. And
it's fucking letting this type of shit slide is why this shit continues to happen. Why do you think the murder numbers went down from the Wild West days when you could just shoot people on the street?
We should start treating that shit like they do in other countries and just start
beating them to death with sticks in the street,
killing them.
Yeah. If that was if
maybe they'd learn, bro.
Yeah, if the responsibility of like vigilante justice laid in the hands of the people, and we were allowed to just take over with the mob rules law, and this guy got convicted of molesting a child, and he's walking down the street like, yeah, what's up? You can't, like Tekashi 6ix9ing his way down the fucking road.
Perfect way to put that.
Guess what? You getting Tom Brokaw, son.
Clack, clack.
Yeah, you're getting clickety clacked on. Bitch. But yeah, the majority of the blame has to go to Dom.
And if Dom's really is guilty, put him in GP. In LA County.
Pop for you, dude. You're getting fucked.
Very.
And David Dobrik's apology, yeah, it seems sincere because he just got all of his sponsors yanked from underneath him. So he's losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. So his apology seeming sincere, it's kind of hard to know if it's, I'm crying for myself because I'm losing so much money for a stupid fucking video.
I didn't watch it, so I can't say it's sincere or not, but
it seems sincere.
There's hundreds of YouTube like apologies from these people who have done fucked up shit or whatever. They fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's like, do they really give a fuck? I don't know. I can't say that. But
it's
the people who think, oh, he's fucking crying or whatever. And
it's because he's crying for himself. He's crying because he got caught. He was told 3 months after or 6 months after the video came out, like, hey, take this shit down, by the girl, Hannah, who didn't want the video up. She's like, I don't want that fucking up. I was blackout drunk. I didn't know what was going on. Like, this is wrong. I don't want this up.
She was kind of hot.
And he was just like, fuck you, dude. I'm going to put I didn't see her. The video that I saw of her, she was blurred out. But regardless, the onus is on Dom to have made the decision to not fuck this girl who was obviously way too drunk. I've had girls come up to me that were hammered, and I was also hammered, and they wanted to like do stuff, and I was just like, nah. First of all, I don't like having sex drunk because it's stinky, like your breath smells, and I don't drink anymore, so it's really fucking gross at this point to even think about. But I'm like, if you want to do this in the morning and you're still down, then I'm down, whatever. And they usually were like, okay, cool, we'll just hang out and, you know, go to sleep, whatever. It's not that fucking hard. But then you also have these dickheads from the fucking vlog squad cheering you on like, yeah, dude, commit felonies in there, bro.
Pump, dude, pump.
Yeah, we fucking got these 20-year-olds shit-faced, dude. They can't handle their liquor. Fuck them.
Literally.
Like, literally fuck them. So it's awesome that there's finally accountability being put in a place where it seems that it's absolutely fucking necessary. All these, obviously Weinstein and Epstein, the Steen brothers, they got what the fuck was coming to them because they were doing awful shit. But this is the first one that's just some dippy fucking D-list YouTube celebrity, and they're finally getting their fucking comeuppance.
When we're talking about celebrities, like
he's
YouTube
actually A-list in YouTube. But in as far as like Tom Cruise and fucking what's the other one? The guy that played fucking Bane.
Tom Hardy. That was
Tom
the first
Hardy.
Thought. That was literally the first thought that came to my head too. On
the Tom Hardy level, David Dobrik is not Tom Hardy. He's D-list in that world, but he's A-list in YouTube.
He's YouTube. He's cinema, bruh.
Yeah. He's Marvel and DC and shit.
Damn.
So it's good to finally see, and this is like
sounded like I got a hard on for Tom Hardy there for a second because I was like, damn.
Yeah, so fucking hard, dude. But it's like a lot of the other ones that come out, it's like, you know, a lot of people put this shit out like, oh, this random situation happened years ago, and it was like, oh, he was mean to some girl or whatever. And it's like there was still no messages, anything. The girl was just like, he's an asshole. And it's like, okay, cool. He's canceled for some reason, whatever.
Thanks.
Yeah,
yes.
Fine. But there's no due process in the cancel culture world. This looks like there's due process because these girls came fucking prepared. They came prepared, and they laid the shit down.
They got pipe, dude.
Yeah, they laid the fucking pipe and the groundwork, dude. And the girl from, what was it, the New Yorker or something like that, the Times, one of these fucking big magazines or newspapers or something, wrote an article about the whole situation. And that was what Jeff made his video about, where he was like, I think she was just trying to get clout, and I didn't buy any alcohol. I didn't, it wasn't me. And the room was empty. They weren't in there having sex. And everyone's like, hey, maybe you're super guilty. Like, everybody started focusing on Jeff because he said, keep your fucking mouth closed, Jeff. And then he made another apology. And he's like, I donated to RAIN, which is for it. They donate money to like violence against women to get rid of it or something. Yeah.
Oh, it was like to the weather
RAIN
machines?
organization. Yeah. To make RAIN, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So he's off the hook as far as H3 is concerned. They're like, he's totally... But he never had anything to do with it. Like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. But I'm just glad to see this shit going in the direction that it's going. And I fucking hope that other douchebags who do this kind of shit, I hope they take notice like, fuck. These girls could one day remember that they drunkenly agreed to blow me, and I'm gonna get fucked. And all of this is gonna go away for making stupid videos on YouTube. I'm gonna
speak on this really quick, but like, I do give a fuck that all that shit's happening. And I'm talking about last week, right?
Yeah.
I do care. That shit's bullshit, and I'm glad that that's happening to him.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. So that's why I gave that attitude that I don't give a fuck. I give a fuck about the situation at hand.
Yeah.
But I don't care. because H3 just keeps talking about it.
You're talking about the David Dobrik situation in general.
Just the drama
mainly.
behind it.
Yeah.
That's it. But I'm glad that that's fucking happening. That it's getting put out there, bro.
I think that more girls need to speak up, because the only way that any of this shit's gonna stop is if girls don't feel like it's their fault, or they don't feel like
like they're doing something wrong,
or that people aren't going to believe them, or they got themselves into some kind of situation.
It's fucked up, because a lot of the times people don't fucking believe
exactly
them, bro.
But this is what I'm saying. If girls would just, when the situation happens, as unfortunate as it is and as difficult as it may be to bring yourself into a hospital and to do this kind of a thing.
I was going to say dial 911.
Yeah, but this is the only proactive way to get these fucking guys, these creepy fucks that can't get girls without doing dumb, crazy, horrible, illegal shit.
I was going to say, unfortunately, it is illegal to hurt these fucking people.
Yeah. But a girl, when something like that happens, you have to muster all the fucking strength and courage that you can get to go to the police, go to the hospital to get a rape kit done.
All right.
Now, when that happens, when the guy gets caught, or when you point this guy out and you go, he did this to me, they can test him, and then they can take this kit that you, they basically swab you and all this other, they collect DNA. They can match it up and be like, oh shit, and there's like, you know, they check for tearing or scratches. Also, scratch the guy's back. Like, dig your nails into this motherfucker as hard as you can. That way you can get his skin under your fingernails. I learned this from Forensic Files. They'll swab for DNA underneath girls' fingernails to see who killed them. So if those two things match up, like that, and if a girl's like, yeah, this happened, and there's tearing and the shit under the fingernails, that's showing that there was no foreplay, nothing was ready to go, and there's his skin under the fingernails. This is this due process. Everything's in place. This guy is going the fuck to prison, and he's getting butt fucked.
And then there's another thing for people out there too. Like with people, if somebody comes to you with that situation, because I had someone who's close to me that happened to, and they were like, "Well, why did you do that? Why'd you let that happen? Is it true? It's bullshit." If somebody comes to you with that, I would say, listen immediately. Get everything going, you know what I mean? Help them out with what you're just saying, you know what I mean? Then you get the facts and you're like, okay, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're one of your friends tells you about a situation like that, do something.
Right.
If they're not going to do it, you totally can.
Yeah.
Be like, this fucking guy's out there hurting people. He can't. If he's going to do it to
it's
you,
probably hard for them to. It would probably be hard for them to walk in there and say something like that, dude.
For some reason, there's shame behind it. There's no reason to have shame behind it. It happens to all different types of fucking people. But the best way to get that shit to stop is to be proactive about it. And I know I'm speaking out of school here because I don't have, lady parts. I'm not a small person in general, so I don't ever really fear for that type of shit to happen to me. But it's got to be fucking terrifying. Mm-hmm. Like, even to, to get into a fight with a huge monster of a dude, that's intimidating and terrifying. So I can only imagine being like a younger girl and have a big fucking dude try to do shit. Obviously, bad situations, bad fucking people. Anyways, we've still got some time. So, I was gonna see
super random and off topic, but I've been watching YouTube videos on like these people who go like deep sea diving. That's why I kind of brought it up. But they go into caves and shit.
Oh yeah.
And these
underwater spelunking.
These dumb motherfuckers, bro. They go into these caves and they're like, "It's fine right here," and they keep going, and it gets tighter and tighter, and then they're stuck. And you're fucking dead, and you're underwater.
Oh,
and
and you're real far underwater.
So, that's kind of... I've been watching these videos, and I don't know why. It's just some dude talking about it.
I get anxiety about it. Watching the video, I get anxiety.
I'm, listening, and I'm like, God, you're stupid. Why?
Yeah. It's like the curiosity that some people have, that saying, curiosity killed the cat. You know what I mean? Curiosity kills way more people than it does cats. I don't think cats cross the road because they're curious.
No.
I think they're just like, whatever. They don't give a shit. They're just going in a direction. They don't fucking know where they're not like, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven real quick.
Yeah.
I'm curious what they have, if they have Reese's
Go to the
Pieces or not.
7-Eleven dumpster.
Yeah. That's not the thing. The saying should be curiosity killed the person. Because people do dumb, like, hey, I wonder what it's like to jump out of a helicopter with a parachute. Oops, it didn't open. Splat, dead. Shit happens all the time. Going into an underwater cave. What the fuck is... What is the point of that?
Bro, like, you act like you're not going to get stuck in this fucking...
Is it just them with tanks? I thought they were in a submarine.
No, they're swimming.
Fuck that, dude. And then you're just watching your oxygen tank like...
That's...
Oh, here's my last breath.
But they say, like...
Sick.
They say there's this thing, because they're so deep down and all the pressure makes you pass out, and then you're fucking out of oxygen and you drown.
Ooh.
That's
well,
after
yeah, because
that.
when you run out of oxygen when you're out here and you, like... pass out from lack of oxygen, you automatically just start breathing again. But when you're under that much pressure, you can't.
That's terrifying.
You ever see the movie The Abyss?
No.
They put this, it's about going super deep under the ocean. They put this helmet on the guy and they fill it with this liquid. It's basically like amniotic fluid. So it's like, basically they were trying to say it's like being back in the womb.
That's tricky.
So he had to relearn how to breathe inside of this thing with liquid in the mask. Whoa. So his helmet wouldn't go from the weight of the water when he's under. It's the guy from the Truman Show.
That was like in that one movie. It was with the chick from Twilight. She did that like Cthulhu type thing. She was like deep underwater, and this guy's helmet had a tiny crack in it or something.
Oh, and then
the pressure
burst.
just like.
Yeah, I think I know what that is too.
That's pretty tight.
I don't remember what that was.
Underwater, I think it's called. Something like that.
Wow, what an experimental title.
No, it's genius.
Underwater. Where does it take place?
But how deep?
Somewhere on land. Let's make a movie called like 17 feet underwater. And it's just like the whole time like, God, so close. I can fucking reach it, dude, but I can't for some reason. I don't know how to fucking swim underwater.
I'm 5'5", so it'd be like 5 feet 7 inches underwater, and I just can't reach.
Yeah.
My it's like this. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's got to be just...
My hand's like this, trying to get air.
You get like your fingertip just above the surface of the water.
Terrifying.
I realized that because I was watching Nate Bargatze's newest special, Greatest Average American, and he had a bit about basically contracting claustrophobia as he got older. He said that a situation just happened. He was like on a I can't remember what ride it was, but it was at an amusement park, and the latch came down and his leg was like outside of the latch. And he said he just got this overwhelming feeling like, I got to get the fuck out of here. He started freaking out and he had to wave the guy off and they told him to get out and all this shit. And ever since then, he's had a real problem with fucking tight spaces and getting cramped. And then I was thinking about it and I'm like, all the times that I've had anxiety, it always came down to being crowded or feeling trapped.
See, mine's like when we went to Fugs, or not Fugs. Fugs too. Going in there, I'm in a small area. I could leave, but there's a shit ton of people around me. Things like that.
Yeah, that's the same shit.
Yeah,
exactly. So, because my issue was always walking into Walmart, and when I couldn't see the exit anymore, I'm like, it'll take me way too long to get out of here if I start freaking out, and my vision's gonna, go tunnel vision and black out and all this shit. But I literally the first one I can ever remember was just being in my car driving to my brother's house, and it just out of nowhere it just fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. Like my heart started doing crazy shit, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking pass out. And I'm driving I had a 73 Mercury Comet at the time, just a Mexican's wet dream of a car. And I was like, if I crash this fucking thing into anybody, they're dead. They're fucking dead.
Yeah,
I'll be fine, but they're fucking dead.
The robbery is what's important.
No. That's the third time I think we've said that on the show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking great. Man. So, real quick, our president, man, this motherfucker, I want to get in the mind of people that were like so all about Joe Biden that they were just like, he's the truth and the light. He's going to lead us out of the fucking darkness. I want to get in their fucking brain when they're watching this fucking guy
eat shit
on national television. Not even the eating shit thing.
That thing was pretty funny.
That was hilarious. Tripping 16 times up the fucking steps.
The fact that he got up there and was like, and somebody already talked about this on the podcast, but the fact that he went and saluted after tripping, it's like, just get inside.
Yeah, just fucking go, dude. Run.
Go.
But when he did his speech, nobody knows what he was trying to say.
He lost track or something?
It wasn't even that. It started with no track. So I have no fucking idea where it was even going because it started nowhere.
Right.
And then he stumbled over his words the entire time. He got out like 6 words and he was just like, he said something about not ever being good at not getting something done in Congress, and then trailed off for about 25-30 seconds. And then he said anyway and just gave up.
Yeah,
he just gave up.
It's our president,
and that's the guy who's running the free world right now.
Free world
is a guy who can't speak
or walk.
I was thinking when I said free world, I automatically stopped because I was thinking, keep on rocking in the free world. Anyways, my Bambino's running out here, I guess, to tell me that that's the end of episode 34.
Apparently, yeah.
Of the Still Fucking Up podcast. We're fucking out of here.
Still fucking up. Still fucking up.